What's up guys, and welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and welcome back to another video where we're going to talk about Comolli having a list of different players in different positions, and he wants to sign 7 new players to make this squad capable to compete on every front basically. Names on that list, are a goalkeeper, maybe Caprile, because Perin might be leaving, who knows. Laporte is on that list, Hanchko on that list. So defenders, good. We need defenders, obviously. Bissouma on that list, Xhaka on that list, because we need experience and we need leadership and still some quality. And the attackers one is Colomani, because we already signed Jonathan David. But there's more to it, and before we dive into it, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about the list Comolli wrote down to be competitive on each front, including the Champions League. Okay, so going to that list, the report is very simple. The report, it's saying that Comolli has a list to sign at least 7 players, or the idea to 7 players, and hand to door a squad that's competitive on every single front, that can compete, in every single moment, in every single competition. It doesn't matter what it is, That list probably includes signing Conceição. It included signing Jonathan David. It includes Colomani. So that leaves about 4 players. And who are these players? We need defenders. We know that. Is it Hanchko, who has been linked with us previously and now his move to the Saudi League is off for some reason, according to Dutch reports? He's back on that list, and we were interested in January because he's left-footed a little bit. He can play out from the back and etc. And he's back on that list. But that's not all, because the main target remains Balerdi, because Marseille and Tudor go way back. Tudor knows Balerdi and he wants Balerdi. The issue is Marseille do not want to sell Balerdi, and if you want to sign him, you're going to need to pay a lot of money. Even when we were trying to move on Timothy Weah to Marseille, they're not budging. They're not saying, okay, now we will be open to talk about Balerdi. They want to keep him. So that leaves you with maybe Laporte, maybe, or Leone. Are you going to go young? Are you going to tell Parma, here's the money, and tell Leone, you need to come right now and make that jump and improve us from the get-go? No time really to gel in or to grow. We need to, perform ASAP, because Hanchko, Laporte, Balerdi are way more experienced, especially Laporte is way more experienced than Leone. The expectations when you bring in these players are much higher to perform from the get-go compared to a player like a Leone, for example. But that's not all, because we are looking at that midfield. Ederson was apparently, a main target, but he's not on the list. On that list is a player like Florentino Luis, a player that will not improve Juve, with all due respect. Maybe the few times I've watched, but I don't see an improvement in a player like Florentino Luis. And do we need improvement? I mean, if you move on Douglas Luiz and you're not certain about keeping McKennie, and Koopmeiners is having the season again he had last season, then yeah, definitely you need improvement, because Thuram and Locatelli cannot play 50 games a season. Something is bound to happen. Is Bissouma quality enough? I think he's a way inconsistent player. Also had some injuries last season as well. Is that a player you should be looking at? I doubt it. Højlund, somebody let me know. Could be a target, a very good player in my opinion, but costs you a lot of money. A player you should have gotten when he was playing in the Serie A before you made that move to Sporting for about 30 million euros, and now you're looking at 50 million euros, And then you have Xhaka, experience, captain material, I guess, somebody who adds maybe quality, aging side, cheap, but adds the quality or the leadership this team desperately need. I want to be one of those guys say 100% all you go PSG. But PSG added a lot of quality, spent a lot of money. We cannot do that. So you made that decision to spend that money on one player or spread that out a little bit, and you need to live with a player like Xhaka to bring in that experience in that team. That's a decision you're going to need to make as a club. And then up top, we signed Jonathan David. We all forgot about it, maybe a little bit, because we're all frustrated that, it's moving a bit too slow. And you're trying to keep Colomani. However, PSG are saying buy him outright because we know Premier League clubs will make an offer soon. Colomani wants to stay, but it's a club World Cup here. It's a World Cup here. He needs to play. If Juve are gonna haggle up and down with money, I think he needs some, certainties as well. As a player, you want that, especially a player who's young. Yes, he wants a beer and he loves the beer, but you need to have some sort of guarantees when it comes to these players as well. So, are you going to convince PSG to that, or are there more names on the list we don't know? Are you going to be back in for Osimhen? Now it's kind of stalling with Galatasaray for some reason. Are you going to move on for Ederson? Are you going to do something crazy that we never saw coming? Like, boom, we're selling Gatti, or we're selling Colt Miners, or we're selling, I don't know, somebody like, really? That's Alberto Costa, for example. Are you going to cash in? But then again, you need to replace him, and you already needed a backup for him as well. So a lot of questions. The list is probably endless because I think we've been linked, Julian knows, up to 80, 90 players already. That's why I don't discuss every single link, because at that point I'm doing, a video about 10 new players each day. It does, like, Nice players, Monaco players, 17-year-olds, 21. Like, it's just not happening. But the idea of adding quality is needed. It is needed. Are these players quality? Over what we have, yeah, they're probably an improvement. But are they that much of an improvement to say they're good for the next 3 years? Or are you going to go next season, you're like, we took a step, but if we want to take another step, we're going to need to move these players out again. That is the danger zone. On top of that, there's no room for mistakes, because the mistakes that have been made the last couple of seasons make it impossible for Comolli to mess things up. It's just impossible. It cannot happen. Otherwise, it will end up extremely badly, because you have bad players on bad players on bad players and bad situations upon bad situations. You cannot resolve, because we're already struggling to resolve this. That's why being linked with a Kostic extension is just a drama. Let's be real. It's a drama. It cannot happen. It cannot happen, because you're just extending problems rather than fixing them and finally moving on, So it's going to be interesting what we're going to do. Maybe from next week, things will become much, much more clear. Things might move faster, quicker. I don't know. But the list of players we need is there. We probably do not know the links, because the media do not know all the names, excuse me. But it's clear that we need help, in every department. At the back, midfield, depending on who leaves, and attack, because we're short, because we do not own a lot of players, and some players need to leave, like a Vlahovic. So in the comments, let me know what you think we should get, position-wise, name-wise. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will speak again soon, as always.